Welcome to our 5-minute leadership blog. We're going to begin a little 4-part mini-series on leading strong men, strong women. Now, all of us are required as pastors to lead the weak, to lead those who are broken, to lead children, to lead those who society has discarded, but we also mandated to lead the strong. Now, a person's value is incalculable. Leading strong people is not more important than leading weak. But there is a uniqueness about leading strong people, is that God sends them to you to help them fulfill their purpose given under God, but also to help you. They're able to lead, because they're stronger, they're able to lead sometimes thousands of other people with you. And so the way you lead a broken person and the way you lead a strong person is different. David, one of the greatest leaders of all time, was able to demonstrate that. He was very tender with widows and orphans. But to lead strong men, he did that in a unique way. And so there's a charming account in 1 Chronicles chapter 12 of David who's on the run. He's not yet made king. He's a fugitive from justice. He's hanging around in a fortress called Ziklag. Saul wants his blood. And some disenchanted strong men, in fact, Chronicles 12 says, their faces look like that of lions. They've seen some action. They've seen some trouble. In addition to that, they're able to throw a spear with the right hand and with the left hand. The strongest was a match for 1,000, the weakest a match for 100. Those are the dudes who came, strong men. And David led them in a unique way. So here we go. This is what he did to start with. Well, first of all, it says that they came to help him fight the battles he was fighting, beginning of 1 Chronicles chapter 12. So in other words, David wasn't sitting in some lofty palace, summoning guys to go and do his dirty work for him. He had a sword in his hand. He had a spear in the other hand. He had sweat coming from his brow. He was leading by example. He was calling them to come and stand shoulder to shoulder with him. Led by example. You're never going to lead a strong man sitting in some isolated place, just giving him instructions. One of the elements of leadership in our local church that I believe is absolutely critical is that of running a small group. We call it a connect group. I hadn't run one for a little while, and I looked around my leadership team and I saw some really strong men choosing to do other things other than that. And so immediately I realized what I needed to do was to model, even though I have a reasonably busy schedule, to model connect group leadership. And I needed to do it in a way that demonstrated some courage. And so I led a connect group for atheists for a little while. It wasn't easy. Didn't actually last too long, and there was fruit, but not a huge amount of fruit. But what was I saying? I was saying, come stand with me. Come lead unique groups. Come grab people, even if they're atheists, if they're broken, if they're strong. Come and do church in a house with me. At the moment, I'm leading a connect group of university students. I like young people, but this is quite hard work. They come in and they invade my house. I'm doing it for a number of reasons. I want to get a heart for the young, politically sensitized student who's going to be the leader of tomorrow. I want to understand them. But in addition to that, I want to demonstrate the virtue and the value and the centrality of discipleship in a home. So the first thing we learn about leading strong men is you lead by example. In addition to that, you're going to lead with courage. It says that David walked out to meet them. Can you imagine that? Didn't have his bodyguards with him, didn't have an army with him. He walked out, looked them in the eye. These are hundreds of men who are able to kill tens of thousands. He walks out alone. Probably wasn't even armed. Looks them in the eye. A friend of mine said this. He said, leadership is the art of disguising terror. Now that doesn't mean being hypocritical. It simply means that sometimes everybody around you wants to sit down. You've got to go to the throne, ask God for the courage and the will and the strength to stand up and to look the enemy in the eye, look the challenge in the eye, and say, charge. And strong men are looking for a courageous leader. You might be flawed, you might not be the most gifted, but if you plan to lead strong men, you've got to lean on God for courage. If courage isn't something that comes easily to you, you ask God for courage. He sends His Holy Spirit to encourage you and to fortify you. He also asked them a question. He said to them, "Are you for me, against me?" And then He sat listening them to a while before He received them. To lead strong men, lead strong women, you've got to listen to what they're saying. Listen to why they're saying it. Listen to the reasons. Ask God to give you ears, because it's not one size fits all for strong people. You've got to understand the background of what's going on. Well, next week we'll pick up the story.